Hello, beautiful and exotic women of the world. I'm coming on here to share a unique story of a exotical man abuse from his family, and it's a very interesting perspective because we don't hear from men very often in this space. We often hear from women, and we get to hear about how women have navigated being beautiful or being attractive or having loose textured hair or benefiting from any of the isms, and how that has caused them to have to deal with a lot of hatred and jealousy, but not so much when it comes to men. So I'm really excited to share this subscriber's comment. He wrote under one of my videos and said, "Believe it or not, men are like this. Men aren't known for being cliquish, but they are. I remember when I had hair as a kid growing up, my uncle would put this blue stuff in my hair to make it look more coarse, and he would comb out my curls. My hair was naturally curly. He would cut my hair low when I got older and keep me almost bald as a kid with a thin layer of hair at the top so my hair wouldn't be curly. He never told me why he didn't want my hair to show. My aesthetic, curly hair, big lips, eyes change color in the sunlight, naturally slim build. In school around junior high and high school is when I grew my hair out and I got the most hate. The guys who were my friends were guys who should have been considered models. I used to think I was average, but all the average and below average guys shunned me. So I focused on being cool with girls mostly. I always had pretty girls approaching me. I didn't know my worth or value. I humbled myself because I believed the bullshit that lesser people told me about me." And before I give an analysis of his comment, I want to just let it be known that a lot of women who oppose exotical channels are very quick to shoot our talking points down because they think we're being divisive, or they think we are being superficial or shallow or mean girls, when in reality, we are simply adding a layer to the conversation of colorism, texturism, and featureism. I think a lot of women who oppose exotical talking points and channels, like mine and like EU and like many others, is they think that we are talking about these things to toot our own horns, when in reality, we are just trying to show that there is a whole other side to this that they're not seeing. Why? Because they're not living it, they haven't lived it, and they don't understand, which is okay. But I think before jumping down our throats and not hearing us and not taking a second to look at the big picture and look at how there's duality when it comes to the isms, I think that is where the issue lies, is because they're quick to knock us for what we talk about, but there are men who deal with these exact same things. So what are you going to tell the exotical men? That they're being superficial, shallow, and divisive? Are you going to tell them that what they've experienced is bullshit too? And that they need to stop talking about it and stop tooting their own horns? Like, we can't all be lying. And that's the point I'm trying to make here, is that at some point we have to stop with the fake outrage and the oversensitivity and look at it as there's a conversation being had. And this is simply just another side of the coin. And this man commenting this should let it be known that this isn't strictly just a exotical woman plight and an exotical woman argument. There are exotical men who have type 3 hair, who have brown skin, dark skin, whatever the case may be, light skin, and they deal with these things too. And I wouldn't be attracting men to my channel if it wasn't the case, if it was all lies, if it was all divisiveness, and if it was all smoke and mirrors. So going back to his comment, the part about his uncle cutting his hair low made me sick to my stomach. And the reason why exotical men experiences are so closely aligned with exotical women is because we battle with the same type of warfare. We battle with the same types of attacks. And in this case, there was a physical attack on this man's hair. So we all know how people fixate on loose textured hair, straight hair, hair that quote unquote has a good grade. My grandma has told me this before, and I never understood what that meant until I got older and I realized what texturism was. So we understand that there is this obsession with hair in the Black community. And so to hear that he went through something where his uncle, not even a woman, but a man, another grown man, felt the need to cut his hair low and keep his hair low as a child because he was most likely threatened by his nephew's curly hair and wanted to make it seem as though his hair wasn't really curly. So he wanted to keep it like low buzz cut type of thing. This just goes to show you that the jealousy and envy transcends gender. It can happen to a man or a woman. And this is a very clear sign of it. The fact that this man, this older man who was his uncle, felt the need to cut his hair down and to put products in it that most likely didn't mesh well with his hair to make it coarse. Excuse me? You're that threatened by a child and their hair texture that you're going out of your way to put blue, and I know what he's talking about. He's probably talking about blue magic, that mess that has all types of chemicals in it. It's grease. If it works for your hair, it works for your hair. Amazing, great. But why did this uncle of his feel the need to put that in his hair and then comb it out so that it can look more froey and less curly and defined? It screams, I'm jealous of your curly hair. I'm jealous of your looser textured hair. And I want you to look more like me, more like a black person. His uncle was threatened by a child's hair. And I know how it feels to like play with different hair products and to find out that it doesn't work for your hair. And you're kind of like, man, like I thought this was going to work because all the other black people use it, so it should work. Like, for example, for me, I don't know what it is, but Shea Moisture does not blend well with my hair. I have 3C hair and it's dense, but it's fine at the same time. And so my hair just doesn't mesh well with the curl enhancing smoothie or the hibiscus deep conditioner. It just never has done the trick for me. I don't know what it is. It just has always been a little bit too heavy for my hair type. The only black hair products that have worked really well for me, Miel, Mixed Chicks, and certain Camille Rose products have worked amazing in my hair. And those products are just a little bit more lightweight, so it's better for my hair. This man in this comment sounds like he has a similar hair texture to mine. So putting something like that in your hair and combing it out is going to make it very weighed down, heavy, and it doesn't do anything for your texture. It doesn't do anything for the look of your hair. So I understand completely what he's talking about, and I can get a good idea of what this uncle of his was trying to accomplish. And so I think it's really sickening that, again, a grown adult felt the need to do this. And then we go down to the part where he was in school, and because of his hair, he received a lot of hate, and how he used to think that he was average. And a lot of times when I get emails from you guys, when I get emails from my subscribers, I hear often that you guys say that you didn't realize your worth. You didn't know who you were. You didn't realize how attractive you were. You didn't notice how beautiful you were. That's a common theme that I'm noticing. And guess what? I can relate. I went a huge portion of my life, not until I got into my 20s, did I realize my worth, my true worth. I didn't realize who I was. I didn't realize what I looked like. I had a whole skewed dysmorphia about my facial features and my hair type and my skin tone and my background, because I was thrusted into believing I'm just this monoracial person. But then I realized, girl, no, you're not. And part of the reason why I knew I wasn't was because I was being treated. And that's how you'll know, because you're different. You know, and I have story times on this channel about how people have told me in little slick ways, hey, you're being bullied because you don't look like her. There's something similar about y'all, but it's like there's also something very different. And I didn't put two and two together until later on in my life, so I get it. But anyway, he said that when he was in junior high and high school, he received a lot of hate, and a lot of the guys that he was friends with, he considered to be very attractive. So he surrounded himself with attractive males, but it was always the more conventionally unattractive people who would target him and shun him and treat him badly. And so I can relate to this too, because a lot of times, because these people don't look like you, they don't have the features, the certain things that make you you, they will make you feel bad for that and try to isolate you and shun you and, you know, ostracize you because they're threatened and because they are envious. And so that is not any of our problems. That is not our cross to carry. But it just sucks that we have gone through a huge portion of our lives feeling lesser than because of how insecure people have treated us. Like, if you think about it in a nutshell, it really just boils down to there were a lot of insecure, self-hating, narcissistic, envious people who did not want us to know who we were. So from a young age, I dealt with this. And from a young age, this subscriber has gone through it as well, where from a young age, you have an adult who sees your potential, who sees, oh, he gonna be a heartbreaker, he gonna be handsome. Let me do something to that hair so he don't look too ambiguous, so he don't look too pretty boyish. And from a young age, they're making you feel shame about something that naturally comes out of your head. So when people try to talk down about us speaking about our experiences, they're not realizing that there are people who were sent into our lives to destroy us from a very young age, to destroy our mental health, to destroy our confidence in ourselves, to try to get us to not realize who we are. You know, a lot of times these people do these things so that we don't wake up to our potential. So you'll be at the receiving end of warfare from a young age all the way up until your adult life, until you do the work on yourself to realize who you are and then start dismantling some of those things that you've taken on. So I hope this video is eye-opening, and I hope this video helps explain to some people who like to troll and say that exoticals are causing division and are creating more drama and chaos and confusion within the community. I hope they realize that we are not all lying. We are not all just pulling these things out of our ass. And even the men are going through it. So if the men are going through it too, you know this is a serious problem and it needs to be addressed. So ladies, drop down in the comment section and let me know your thoughts. I'd love to discuss this a little bit more. And I'll also be sharing my email in the description box so you can share your stories with me there as well. Have a lovely day, ladies.